Welcome to The Culture. We rest at the pulse of the community, providing all things news, music, fashion, events, and everything that we talk about in between. It's a lifestyle. We are The Culture. Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Culture. I'm your host, Jessica Garrett Modkins, and joining us today is friend to the show, Belinda Gordon Battle. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be back on The Culture.
Yes, you were one of our first experts, and you brought us so much information on COVID and mental preparedness, health a year ago, at least a year ago. And here we are again. It's May. It's National Health Awareness Month, and we had to have you back on the show. There's so many people out there who need mental health tips and just advice, and also just someone to look forward to. And we know we'll have that with you today. So thank you for coming and sharing your time with us. Belinda, as an advocate of mental health awareness, what can we expect from the mental health community here in South Florida? I couldn't think of a better time to champion for mental health than now.
Absolutely. I'm excited about the month of May because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental Health Month was started in 1949, and as you may be well aware, during that time, Black and Brown people did not have the same access to mental health support services as we do now. It's a continual fight to get mental health services, but because it's May, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, I'm happy to report that Delphine Jervis and I from Breakthrough have come together to curate a 8 to 10 video compilation for South Florida. This compilation will include information, tips, and tools from accomplished clinical therapists in the area, therapists that you can reach just with a phone call or contact through social media, therapists that are here for our community in South Aid during May, Mental Health Awareness Month, and beyond.
Nice. Is it possible that we can get a press release so that we can make sure that we promote that for you?
I definitely would share that with you. It's called the I've Got 5 campaign, and each therapist will take 5 minutes and speak on mental health issues. We also are hoping that we could get support from other people in the community to just share the video through D9 and other organized organizations in the community that can share and let us continue to remove the stigma, normalize mental health and mental health services in South Dade.
So to participate in this program that you have, is there a cost associated with it, or is there a specific account like login or anything that you have to have?
It will be available starting in May on YouTube, and there is no cost. This is a service that clinicians in the area felt like needed to be provided to our community. More than anything, we want people in our community, individuals, children, families, organizations to understand that prevention is key, but also treatment is essential to meeting our needs in the community. We have mental health conditions that have not been addressed. We have issues related around social injustice, related around being in a pandemic, and even our family history can bring on concerns around mental health. So we want to make sure that they can look at this video and say, those are people that are accessible to me in this community. I can touch them.
Well, I just want to make a commitment from the culture to say that if it's okay with you, we would want to be your media partner and provide an additional platform to expose and amplify the message of National Health Awareness Month, as well as all of the services that yourself and your partners will be providing, if that's okay.
That is more than okay. I love that idea. I think this is a great platform that can reach many, many people in our community and beyond. And thank you so much for offering. We accept.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you accepted. And so Be on the lookout. This month, we'll continue to provide more resources for mental health preparedness, awareness, and also just help for all of us. We all need it. It's not just physical health that we need or spiritual enlightenment. It's also mental health. And Belinda, as we all know, it's so important, as you mentioned, because we're in this pandemic. What is the pandemic doing to us, and what are some ways that we as just a people can combat it?
Yeah, absolutely. We hear, and I know you're talking to your friends or people in your circle, you hear children even say, I'm bored, I'm tired, I want to get out, I want to do more. It's pandemic fatigue. We're exhausted. We're exhausted because this came upon us and we were not ready. We have been in this phase of life for more than a year now. There have been significant loss that we've had to deal with during that time. So we're at a place of pandemic fatigue, but there are things that we can do to support our own growth and development and also support those people around us. One of the things I encourage us to do is to reset our schedule. Incorporate time into your schedule for yourself and for self care. Think about those things that you enjoyed to do when you were young, those things that made you laugh, those things that made you feel good, those things that excited you. Are you doing any of those things right now? Put that on your list of things to do. Walk to the park, get on that swing. Find you a pair of skates. Skate in your community. Wear your mask, wash your hands, take care and be safe, but also take some time to write, take some time to read. Do those things that make you feel safe, that make you feel happy, and also teach our children to do those things. You can do both. You can be safe and also take care of yourself while we are in this pandemic.
That's good. That's good. Just getting back to the basics.
Yes. Yes. Taking your shoes off, walking around barefoot, going to the beach and laying out, even if you don't have a lot of time, even if you don't have a lot of money, you have to reconnect with those things that made you feel good. Exercise is also so important because that connects us to, from your physiological sense, making sure those endorphins are moving around. And that
Mm.
almost gives you a feeling like cannabis does. The more you exercise, the more likely it is that you will minimize symptoms related to anxiety, minimize symptoms related to depression, and put yourself on a space and in a place where you feel better and you feel safer.
So you're saying if I exercise, I'm going to feel like I'm high?
Sometimes there is such a thing as exercise high. You're going to have to do quite a bit of it to feel that high, but we are here and open for that. This is Florida, so you can exercise all day and night if you need to.
That's true. That's true. Now, what about our kids? They are missing prom.
Yeah.
Some that are studying from home had to go back to the classroom to take these standardized tests. They are missing seniors. They're missing their little skip days and all those little fun things that I'm sure that they were looking forward to. What are some things that they can do as to feel better, and what can parents do to assist them in this time?
Parents, we have to continue to have that dialogue with our young people and listen to them. Make sure that we understand that they are having feelings and concerns and anxiety about missing these important events in their life. These are milestones. These are things that we look back on and say, oh, that was prom of 2020. That was prom of 2021. They will not have that same experience. So we have to create moments. We have to create milestones for them so that they have something to be reflective of. We have to listen to them and help them find a safe um, milestone for themselves. The schools are not able to do it at this time. So if your child cannot go to the prom, I love seeing these family events where the child may still get to dress up, take pictures, and they're there for their families. Even when communities come together and make it COVID safe and say, we're going to support our children in this way. The organizations that are in the community, they can do the same thing. They can have virtual proms. They can have virtual graduations on a smaller scale and still create these milestones for our young people. It's so important that we continue to have this conversation and this dialogue with them. The best thing is when you talk to them, they can tell you what they need.
Oh, wow.
They can tell you what they want. These children that are right now coming through the school system are empowered. They can advocate for themselves. They have a strong sense of who they are and who they want to be. And instead of us negating that, we have to embrace that and see how can we be a part of that, because that's how we help them continue to grow, how we help them to know that it's okay to go out and be independent. We're going to support you in that process.
That's good advice. I've never thought about creating a faux milestone or anything that I think would kind of not substitute, but can be a nice point of reference for this time in your life.
Yeah.
And maybe because I'm not thinking of it that way, I'm still creating new things for them to do, but never thought of it in that sense. So that's excellent advice. What about our educators? I know that my daughter has a teacher that she typically would be tutored by on a weekly basis, and I know that that teacher is struggling. She's just really struggling to kind of find her footing. What is some advice that you can give to educators as we're looking to close this school year out?
Yes, I'm really concerned about our educators. I'm concerned about everyone in the schoolhouse, from the principal to the teacher to the administrative assistants to the guidance counselors to the janitors to the dietitians. I'm concerned about everyone that's going into the school right now today, and even the school resource officers. I'm concerned about them because there's a level of stress that they did not have a year ago right now on top of them. The teachers have shared with me. I actually have had an increased number of educators come to receive services, and some of the stressors that they have seem insurmountable. They are pushing through. They are pushing through. And I wonder how that will affect them as they end the school year. And so, what we have done at BGB Counseling Services is created a nook just for educators.
Mm.
I myself, I have a master's degree in education, and I often work in the schools and within the school system. And because the need is so strong, I want every educator in Dade County, in Florida, in the United States of America to realize you have access to mental health services. You can go into your EAP, Employment Assistance Program. You can call that number and they will connect you with a mental health therapist, a licensed mental health therapist. Take care of yourself by taking some time towards the end of the school year this summer to speak to a licensed mental health therapist. It's confidential, it's objective, and someone can hear about your struggles and the things you've had to go through in order to continue to be the teacher, the educator that you are before you start the new school year. Take that time for yourself because it's going to be very important for you to fortify yourself and to prepare yourself for the new school year. So my concern with the educators is vast, it's real. I am here for educators and everybody in the schoolhouse.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Because they do have that offering, that benefit as a school
Yeah,
teacher
yeah.
and as an educator, faculty member. Um, Sometimes I believe they forget all of the great insurance that they
Yeah.
have.
That they
Yeah,
are paying for
they're
and not
paying for it.
utilizing. Yes.
Yeah, because I just think just traditionally we don't think of mental health as something that is insured. Like when you feel like you have a cold, you're immediately like, "Oh, I got to call a doctor."
Right. Right.
You don't do the same thing when you know that you're feeling stressed.
Yeah.
I don't know, we're just conditioned that way. But that's
We
great. That's
we
great.
are, and that's why I'll talk about it so much, and I want to make sure we normalize it. So that's part of the conversation in the teachers' lounge. That you don't just see the poster that says EAP, but you're actually having that conversation with your colleague to say, I reached out to a therapist, or I reached out through my EAP program just to talk about some of the things that are going on here, so that I don't have to get, I'm not being insubordinate, but I'm actually talking to a professional about the stressors, the anxiety, the concerns I have as an administrator. Teachers actually create all the other occupations, people in the other occupations. Without our teachers, without our educators, if they are not in a place where their mental health is optimal, then they can't create for all the other occupations of the world. We have to take care of our educators. We have to take care of the people in the schoolhouse, from the school resource officer up to the principal. We don't have a choice anymore.
I'm not sure if you saw it, but at right after the George Floyd trial, there was a juror who spoke with Gail King. He also spoke with Lester Holt, and he was talking about being a black man in today's society and the perception and stressors of dealing with the police and life. Can you speak some life into our black men and offer some words of direction for their mental health?
Yes. The trauma of George Floyd has impacted this generation to a great deal, from the elders all the way down to the little boys. One thing I want to say is to remind our young people and remind parents and young people to have real conversations about what they have seen on TV and in social media. Remind our young people that safety comes from within first. Trust yourself, be aware of what's around you, and have conversations with people that have been in that space before and can share with you the history so that you're knowledgeable. Knowledge is power. Knowledge allows us to um, control our emotions, regulate our anxiety. The more information that we can share with each other about not just George Floyd, but the history of social injustice in America. We're just speaking about America now. The history of social injustice in America, the better our young black men, our young black boys, our elders will benefit from those conversations. We cannot stop. We have to continue to help them find healthy ways to demonstrate their concerns, healthy ways to advocate. We have to help them become the politicians, the lawmakers. We have to make sure they understand their place in society and what they can do from their corner of the world. Because sometimes young people feel like they can't do anything, they don't feel empowered. But it's our responsibility as adults to help empower them, to take them to the government building so they can learn what voting should and should not look like. To take them, and I've recently saw, and I spoke to some people who did this, they took their young black boys to the police station and said, this is what it should look like. I want you to see what policing is supposed to look like, because you have to have a balance. If we just continue to watch TV and social media, we may not have that balance. But it's our responsibility as people in this society that understand how important it is to be safe, how important it is to feel secure, to make sure that our young black boys feel that.
And then for summer is right here.
Yeah.
Are there any tips that you can give to parents to prepare for this time?
Yes. We have to change the routine up a little bit. Our young people have been in school. They have really struggled with school this year. They have not had the experience that they wanted to have, and they don't feel like they really achieved some of their goals. So we have to help them develop a plan for the summer, and we need to start now. We need to start now. They want to be in the community, volunteering and having an opportunity for hands-on experiences in the community. So we have to start small when they're young, but give them the opportunity. It may be something as simple as we go out and we clean up a neighborhood. We go out and we make sandwiches and we give them out to people that may be in need. But we have to give them an opportunity to find something to do that lets them know that they are part of this community and that they can make a difference. Our young people are looking for those opportunities. Almost every young person I've spoken to, 13 through 18, has said these words: I want to work. I want a job this summer. I really do need our churches, our organizations, these businesses that are in the community to open up a little bit and let these young people come in and learn and work at the same time. They want it, but we have to deliver it for them. If we don't, the outcome is not is the outcome is that they find their own things to do. And oftentimes it's not what we want them to do, but because we're not giving them access to the things that they want, they end up finding other things. So we have to make sure with our young people that we have a clear plan. Start talking to your teenagers now about how are they going to spend their day in the summer. There's no more virtual school, although some students, I understand, have summer school. But even with that, you got to give them a little bit of a break. They need to rest also. They need a break from being on Zoom. So let's make sure that we have those conversations and that dialogue. We change up the schedule. You may have to change your schedule to accommodate them a little bit, but that's what we have to do to make sure that they're safe and they have a productive summer.
Well, Belinda, I just want to know, how much did my kids pay you to come on here and say those things?
We have agreed not to speak about payment. All that you need to know is that I am here for them.
Well, thank you so much for coming on this show. As always, you have dropped knowledge, information that we can use as parents, as just people, human beings, and of course, as married couples, and just me being a person and the ability to say no and finding my space and allowing time to be with myself and finding my balance.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
Saying no to someone else is often saying yes to
Yes
yourself.
to yourself.
You
Absolutely.
have to say yes to yourself. And that is more important than I can ever explain to you, because once you experience saying yes to yourself, it becomes easier to say no, no, thank you, and say it with a smile, or no, but I can refer you or I can show you someone else that may be able to help you at this time. Come back to me next time. But
And another thing that I've learned in saying no is that that opportunity is a blessing for someone else.
yes,
It's just not my blessing. It's
exactly.
someone else's blessing and their opportunity to be able to walk in that position, whatever it is. So no is not a negative
It's,
connotation. It's
it's
not.
not. No, it's not. You're so right. And I'm excited. I've had a chance to come on during May. I have to shout out my dad. His birthday is May 7th. And I want to make
Today,
sure
happy birthday,
today, yes,
Daddy.
today is May 7th. Happy
Yes.
birthday, Daddy. I love you very much. Thank you for always saying yes to me. And that allowed me to make sure I say yes to the culture. Thank you for having me, Jessica.
Well, we welcome you to come back anytime, Belinda, and we're going to continue to press our relationship. We're going to bring the culture viewers all of your content to help them through this month and beyond, because the content will be on forever. And then we're encouraging everyone to come back tonight. Join us for My Two Cents starting at 6 p.m. on all platforms live. It's another one. We appreciate you all. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
The Culture is produced and owned by Hip Rock Star Media and cannot be reproduced or broadcast without written consent by Jessica Garrett Modkins. All rights reserved.